Traders, RHE, ACY, what is going on? What is going on? Well, let's dig into it. Let's find out for ourselves. Let's get to it, traders. Traders, not many people were expecting, at least I wasn't, a crazy week like this right after Christmas. ACY, RHE, we're getting a lot of volatility out there. And obviously, that's where the money's made, right? When stocks are going sideways, no money to be made. But up and down, you get both sides of it, short and long of it. Now, today, we saw ACY taken on off. We see Aero Century shares soar more than 1,300% after the Amex decides, yeah, y'all can stay listed on the exchange. Now, does this normally bring in hype? Oh, I mean, it did today. Is this not the best news ever? They get to stay listed on the exchange? Couple different ways of looking at it, I guess, but in the length of time that I've been trading, which is 5 years now, it is always an anomaly, the black sheep, that ends up taking on off, squeezing shorts out, just going to the moon. It honestly has nothing to do with news, and actually, in fact, RHE did come out with a PR. The company said, we don't know why our company's doing this. Well, us as traders, we do have an idea of why these stocks are doing what they're doing. Ultimately, RHE is in sympathy to ACY, but ACY is a tiny, tiny float. 1 million in the float. Now, that's really all you need to know. And most of the time, guys, for instance, I like to short. I'm more of a short bias trader, but I avoid low float stocks. And this is a reason why. You can get squeezed to death on these low float plays. In fact, a lot of these ETB plays that mean easy to borrow also mean easy to blow up. Very easy to blow up on these ETB plays and low float plays like ACY. The first hint to me that this stock was an avoid, at least to me, is when the float rotates. So we look at the float's 1 million shares, and we take a look at the volume. If the volume exceeds that, in fact, let's look at that today. The volume is, float's 1 million, volume is 35 million. Obviously, we're halted right now, but 35 million leading up to that halt. 35x the float. It's probably a good idea to just buy on dips and avoid shorting a stock like that when you have the volume 35x, especially when a stock like this trades. Its relative average volume each individual day is significantly less than that. That's what we're looking for. Abnormal volume equals abnormal range, and that range is where the money is made. See, we as day traders are not paid for the time that we spend in the market. We're paid for this opportunity. And opportunity comes with the range, with the volatility, with this excess in volume. So with all that being said, ACY, RHE, not really any company-specific news as to why these stocks would do what they did, but what is specific about them is they are very low float plays, and they're getting squeezed out. When a stock gets heavily shorted, when short sellers are saying this stock's up way too much, in my experience, this is what happens the most. A stock that should not do what ACY or RHE did today, they end up doing it, because when 90% are convinced this stock is too overbought, the company's awful, they're in debt, etc., 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 when you get 90% of most people saying one thing, it tends to do the opposite. I've seen stocks, and there's several that come to mind in the past that came out with terrible news. Terrible news. The stock should never have got squeezed out. And guess what? They did every single time. One way to find this out is via Yahoo Finance. Under statistics, we can look at the short percent of the float, and you can get an idea. Usually 20% or higher, especially on 1 million float stock. You get 200,000 short interest. I mean, that's crazy. That's crazy. You're just asking for this thing to get squeezed out. So ultimately, what I want you guys to understand is, okay, there may be a few sympathy plays, but leading into the rest of the week, we got to be careful, right? Shorts are definitely going to be more careful in shorting these plays. And also longs are going to be a little cautious in getting into them, especially if we're halted like we are right now. I mean, these things could end up in a T12 halt. I've seen many T12 halts, not too fun. I mean, those can be halted for weeks, for months. It can be pretty bad. Those are essentially when, there's an investigation into why these stocks are doing what they're doing. And so that can take a little bit of time. And so it may be a little cautious, traders on both sides of things, as far as these low floats go into the rest of the week. But a great week to start us off here on Monday. Tons of volume. If you guys have any additional information on ACY or RHE, throw it down in the comment section below. Let us know how you did on these. But guys, be careful trading these. I'm not a buy high, hope higher type of trader. Neither am I a short the lowest float type of trader either. So most of the time, these are just avoids for me. I like to get the popcorn out and just watch these type of trades. But you can learn the wrong lessons trading these. Buy high, hope higher does not work all the time. You got to be careful with that. There's going to be a lot of long-term investors stuck in these stocks now that may have not intended to be a long-term investor. So be careful trading these guys. Love you all. Hit me up in the description if you have any questions at all. We'll see you next time.